Hi everybody, I'm back with another CCNA lab session, and today we're going to see how we can implement NAT, or the network address translation, on our Cisco router. And for that we will be using the same diagram that we made for ACL. A reference would be added to the description of this video on how to make this network, so you don't need to worry. The first thing that we need to know is that in NAT, the first thing that we need to mention is the inside and outside of our network. This is the inside, the part that is connected on the left side of our router, and on the right side of the router this is our outside, and on the whole this left side is an global inside and this one is the global outside. So the first thing that we'll be doing is we will be using, I have also removed the right protocol on these routers that were previously enabled, and for that we don't have any routes. So the first thing that we will be doing is, first we will be taking a look at the routing table. So there you go, only directly connected values are there. So to solve this process we have to give a default route that is 0.0.0.0, that is a special address and its subnet mask, it's also special, and then the serial interface that is gonna lead them out. So there you go, there is the routing address, and now if we ping the PC to 100.100.100. Sorry, we have to write 2 before it, and I can ping it, so I can access the other router since there is no routing, but I have accessed it by using the default route. And in this scenario the reply is come because the second router is directly connected to this router. But if there is another router in the middle, we have to configure the default route on both of the routers to get to the reply, because if we only configure default route on one side, then the reply won't come, just the sending packets will go. Okay, the next thing that we will be doing in implementation of NAT is that the first thing is we have to mention the inside and the outside of NAT. So first we will be going into the interface FA00, and then we will write the command IP NAT inside. That will define that this is the inside of our NAT network. And after that we will go into the serial 000 and we'll use the command IP NAT outside to give it define it as the outside. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to translate the address of this PC with IP4 to this interface, through this user interface, to 1.1.1.1. that is our public IP and this is the private IP. Okay, so if we know the public IPs, and if we have more than one public IPs, then we can do the static NAT. We can apply the static NAT, because static NAT can only be applied on a static IP. So we will be first doing a static NAT, and then we will see how we can configure dynamic NAT on a dynamic IP. So first let's go configure the static, and we will use the command IP NAT inside source is static, which has IP address 200.100.50.4, and we need to translate into 1.1.1.1. this is our public IP and the first row was our private IP. So if we do that, there you go, this is all that we have to do in a static route. We have to mention the sources or the private IPs ourselves, and then we have to give the public IPs ourselves too, to make NAT do the translations. And if we want to show the table to show IP NAT translations, and we can see the translation that will be done from inside local to inside global. Okay, so that's how we can implement a static NAT, and I will undo it, and now I will show you how we can implement dynamic NAT. So for that, we first have to, since we will be using a list of IPs, for example, we have to translate the pieces from IP4 to IP7. So for that, we need a list of IPs, because we cannot make that kind of list here. So we will be using ACL to provide that list for us, because if you have kept the thing in mind that ACL and main purpose is to provide a list of IPs, so we will be using ACL here to just provide us the list. So let's make the list, and since it only gives us the IPs, so it will be a standard list, so I will give it a standard name, for example IP list ACC10, and then I will write permit, for example, because we do want to permit these IPs 200.100.50.4 to do what, and we will be using the wildcard mask to provide us the list. For example, this permit these list of IPs, and we will deny the other ones, because we don't want the translation for the other IPs to happen. So we will just do that, and after that we will write IP NAT inside source is a list that is number 10, and we have to apply it to interface in dynamic NAT, because there is a dynamic IP in hand, so we don't know the IP, so we just mention the interface on which the IP will be. So interface 0000, and at the end we have to write overload, because we're using a list of IPs, not a single IP. So for that we write overload and then press the enter key, and there you go. Dynamic NAT is also implementing, but if we give the command do show IP NAT translations, we don't show anything, because the dynamic NAT works only if we send some packets towards the other network and then see. Let's, for example, ping this, and we will see that after applying this command, if we go to the router and give the same command to show the NAT table, we will see that we have those IDs, and these numbers 29, 30, 31, these are called port numbers that are used for making sure that the right packet is returned to the rightful owner. So that is the process of port address translation. That is bad in when the address is translated, it's NAT, and if we're using dynamic, then the address is retranslated using PAT to provide the packet to its rightful owner. So in this way you can configure NAT on your router, and I showed you both on how to configure a static route and on how to configure a dynamic NAT. So that would be all. Take care and bye.